world. The weather outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
Hello everyone and welcome to Country with Celine. I am your host Celine Schmarkey, and on today's show we have Tori Martin.
I could be LA, Cali, running in a rose, shopping on celeb on Rodeo, Louisiana, letting the good times roll. NYC, I like to die, killing them boys with my southern drawl. But baby, what I really, really wanna do is be wrapped up in love, la la la, lucky with you.
Tori, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for asking. Okay, so let's just get straight to it. Let's get to know you. For those of you guys who don't exactly know who Tori Martin is, she's here to explain to you who she is, where she's from, why she got into music, her influences. So let's get to all the good stuff, Tori.
Yeah, so I'm a country artist and a songwriter from Azle, Texas. It's a small town in Texas, but I live in Nashville now, and I made the move in 2017. But I got into the music industry when I was 14. I know it's cliche, but I started singing in church. I know all the country singers say that, but it's true. That's where I started. So I started in church, and I ended up getting connected with a Grammy award-winning producer when I was pretty young. And he was like, hey, kid, you got something. And I always loved music. I don't come from a musical family. So it's kind of like the weirdo. And, I would always sing as a little kid. And they didn't think I was probably going to do this with my life. But it wasn't until I was 14 and I ended up meeting that producer. They're like, oh, wait, maybe there is a little something here. And I got into music. I was inspired by my grandpa with country music. His name, I called him Pawpaw, and he loved country music, and he raised me on the classics like Tammy Wynette and Johnny Cash, Patsy Cline, and I just fell in love with it then. And he was like, always follow your dreams, and he believed in me. He bought me my first guitar when I was 8. And he was like, you could do anything if you set your mind to it. So I call him like my champion, my true believer. And he's no longer with us, but he keeps me going on the tough days for sure.
He is always with you. Never forget that. I mean, physically, no, but they're always around, always guiding you on the right path, and they're always going to help you and ultimately just be your guiding light. I'm a firm believer in that, and that's an awesome story too. Now, for influences, would you say that they would be all the classic country singers, or is there any like modern, maybe like just throwing it out there, first people that come to mind, like Dan and Shay or Kelsey Ballerini, or is it mostly all the classic icons?
Obviously, there's a lot of traditional elements and classic in my voice. I can't. There's just no getting away from that. I'm a country girl through and through, and so I do pull a lot from that. Huge influence for me is Dolly Parton. I'm in love with her, and I would say modern-wise, I really have been inspired by like Carrie Underwood and Miranda Lambert and Maren Morris. So there's so many, Casey Musgraves. All of those women inspire me. And I feel like I, could kind of take some things from them.
Well, yes, when you listen to, I've talked to so many artists about this because it's so true and everybody can understand and agree. When you listen to like a variety of different artists, subconsciously you start pulling like the way that they sound, the way that they write their music into your own sound, into your own way, how you write music. And it's not, you're not even trying to copy somebody. It just happens because you get so influenced by them in a way too. And it's totally normal. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's what like music is. You get ideas from certain people and you just write your own thing. And honestly, without music, what would this world be? Like, think about that. Just a real thought just popped into my head.
Yeah. To me, it's the universal language. Doesn't matter if you can't speak the same language, music unites us all, and it's really powerful.
Oh, 100%. And now you mentioned Dolly Parton. Now you have a song called What Would Dolly Do? obviously that was inspired by Johnny Cash. No, I'm kidding. Dolly Parton. No, I'm kidding. Dolly Parton.
You
So
got it.
take me through that song.
Yeah. So I fell in love with Dolly Parton at a really young age. Oh my goodness. I remember hearing I Will Always Love You, and I would take our dining chair table and not table, the chair from the dining table underneath like the hall light, because that was going to be the spotlight, with my hairbrush. And I was like, I would just be belting my heart out. So I loved her from the get-go. I've always loved her. And the more that I learn about her, read her books, and learn about her life, I've just loved her even more as a human being. And so I got the opportunity to go to Dollywood, and I had never, have you ever been?
No, I haven't. I always wanted to go. It's on my bucket list.
Put it on the bucket list. I didn't get to go until, let's see, I guess it was my 26th birthday. And I was like, okay, low expectations. I'm like, I'm 26 and this is probably not going to be as good as Disney World. So I'm like, just keep it. I love Dolly. We're going to keep it down here. And I had the best time of my life. It is amazing. It is everything and more. Could not recommend, oh my gosh, any more than, oh my gosh, got to go. And I had a blast. Like they put like a little birthday thing on you. You get to ride first. It was a lot. It was awesome. But on my way out, luckily I saw this before leaving the Dollywood. There is a museum that you can go to for free once you pay for admission. And it's called the Chasing Rainbows Museum. And so I went in there, and boy, am I glad I did. And it was incredible. I mean, it's all of the Dolly memorabilia. I mean, from when she was a young girl, and they show her first microphone, which was like a tin can on a wooden stick. I mean, to her Grammys, to everything. And so it was just absolutely incredible to walk through there. But there was something that stuck out to me the most when I was walking through there, and that was some handwritten letters from Dolly to her parents. And she was writing to them when she first moved to Nashville, and she was like 17 and 18 years old. And she was talking to them like, I'm really scared. I made a big decision. I miss you guys. I don't know if I should have moved here, but I'm going to be okay. And then you like see a progression, and a few years pass, and you just see her, I'm going to be all right, Mom and Dad. I'm doing great. People are interested in my song. So I'm doing good out here. And I was like, whoa, it like really humanized her for me, because we just see superstars and think, oh, they snapped their fingers and they got there. And I was like, whoa, Dolly's been in my shoes. So like, what would Dolly do in my shoes? And that's how I got that song.
I just got shivers everywhere when you were saying that. I did not know that they have her like handwritten letters in a museum. That's amazing. Especially for like artists to see that, or not even artists, like even for people who want to pursue like a dream that's technically not a normal standard like society like type of job, like a doctor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the arts it's totally different, because you're really taking a leap of faith ultimately. So to see that is just like a reassurance that Dolly Parton made it years in the making. Like she made it, so why can't I make it? Like if you put your mind to something and you just go for it, there's no reason why you won't succeed.
So true. I love that.
It's so true. And now Dollywood, isn't our old house on the premises of that, or like there's a house on it, or not too far? I was just watching the documentary like a couple months back. I think our house or there's a specific house. Oh my God, that's gonna bother me. That's on it.
That's funny. I wonder. Probably. I didn't see it. There is a chapel, and I think it was like a church that Dolly went to, and they put it on there. People get married there. It's really cool.
Whoa, no way. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe it's kind of haunted at the same time. Okay, so now I want to also mention this. I'm not too sure that maybe not a lot of people know this, but I read it and I was like, oh wow, we have another American Idol contestant. So explain, how was that whole process being on American Idol? How far did you make it? Did you enjoy it? Was there something that, you know, happened that you wish didn't happen, or what was your experience like?
So I was on season 14 of American Idol, and that was right before it switched over to Fox, and it got bought out. So it was a really interesting time to be on American Idol. And I had Harry Connick Jr., Jennifer Lopez, and Keith Urban on my season. So of course, Keith Urban, major hard eyes. That's like who I want to impress. Oh my goodness, I was 19. And then, so I was 19 when we filmed, and then I turned 20 when it aired. So you do everything like ahead of time.
Okay.
And so I wasn't planning to go on American Idol. It was always like a dream, like when I was younger, I remember watching Kelly Clarkson do it. And I was like, oh, I'd love to do that, be the next American Idol, but I just kind of think, you make your plans, your journey starts to happen, you start going down a path, and it just might not happen. And so I was like, okay, I was doing my own thing out in the Texas music scene, which they have like a whole country scene. And I started touring and playing shows out there and putting some songs out to the country radio. And so I was doing really well, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm doing my thing. And so then I was like presented the opportunity to go on the show. And I was like, well, you know what? Why not? Like, I should just go audition. If it's a yes, we'll write it out. If it's no, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And so I went to the audition, and it was in New Orleans. So it was quite a trek from Texas. So that was Harry Connick Jr.'s hometown. And so I went there, and I ended up getting the golden ticket, going to Hollywood. So it was fun. It was a crazy, wild experience. I went to the Hollywood rounds, and I ended up getting cut out there. But I was really proud of myself. I made it in like the top 150 or whatever out of millions. So that was, for being 19, I was like, girl, that's an accomplishment. And I did learn a lot. Oh my goodness. That is the entertainment industry. It's not just music. So I learned there's a lot of television involved with it too. And if anything, it's so hard because it feels so surreal when you do it. Like you've dreamed of this moment, you never thought it would happen, and then here you are, and there's like superstar standing right in front of you, and you're like, okay, take a breath. I wish I wasn't as nervous as I was, but it's so hard. Like, what can you do? You get starstruck, and I'm like, I wish I would have just been like, just have fun, girl. Don't worry about all the pressure,
I know. Like,
that's the only thing.
Once it goes to like the Hollywood rounds too, those are aired like in front of people too. Like, you're singing, and your clip might get chosen to go live on air. So yeah, you're singing for like maybe a couple hundred people, but then afterwards you're singing for millions of people.
Millions.
So, I mean, it's pretty nerve-wracking. I could completely understand that, especially singing in front of Keith Urban. Like,
like 5 feet from you. You're like, hello.
I gotta put my A game on now. It's now or never.
You're like shaking.
Oh gosh, I don't know what I would do. Like, kudos to you for even getting through that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now back to you. So you released a song called Lucky recently. So tell me, what does Lucky mean to you?
I'm so excited about this song. Lucky has been a long time coming. It's from my project that I released in the COVID year in 2020. And I am so excited that it's going to country radio. I wrote this song. I've talked a lot about my journey and things not going to plan, or I made my plans. I had my thoughts, my ideas, and it's its own thing. And I'm really learning how to just go along for the ride and enjoy it. And I remember pretty early on in my career, when I was a young girl starting out, I had multiple people tell me, you can't have it all. Like, you can't be in love. You can't do what you love. You just can't do both. You got to pick one or the other. And I remember thinking like, oh, that's so sad. That's so miserable. I don't want to just be like sad and heartbroken all the time. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if that's what I want. And so I rolled the dice, but I ended up meeting my soulmate, and we got married almost 5 years ago, which is crazy. And so I wrote Lucky about him and about our relationship and how I feel lucky that I rolled the dice because I'm doing what I love with who I love. It's really amazing.
I had a feeling that was what the song was about. Wait a second, hold up. 5 years ago, how old are you now? Because you just said that you were 26, like a bit. And how old are you?
I'm 27.
Oh, okay. You're still young. You're still
Yeah.
okay. Because the way you made it seem like, whoa, how old is this girl gonna say? She's
Old lady.
Okay, so how old are you when you got married then? 27, 5 years ago. I'm bad in math. Is that 22? I think.
Yes. I'm really bad at math too, so I'm like
Yeah, you have to do like the picture in your head, like trying to figure out. Okay, so I have a question then. This
yeah.
is totally off like topic, but I'm sure like a lot of people will like to know the answer. 22 years old. So to me, I feel like I would be too young to get married. I'm 24 now, and I feel like I'm not even at that stage. What would you say? Like, what like advice would you kind of, I guess, give to like 21-year-olds or 22? Like, I can't even like think of a strong question to ask this. Just like, what were your thoughts when you were 22? You got married. What like mental state like overall what were you feeling? Was it just like you were in love and you wanted to get married, or was it something else involved? I'm just out of a personal question now. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. I definitely would say I'm an old soul, and I've always felt older than I am, but I kind of had to grow up fast, getting into the music industry so young, starting in my career so young. So I feel older than I am all the time. But I wasn't planning to get married that young. I was like, oh, I'm not getting married till I'm 30. There's no way. And it's just kind of one of those things where it was like, all right, it just our paths crossed, and it was the right time, and I just knew it in my heart. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to my heart. I'm gonna go with my gut. Gut don't steer me wrong. And so I took a big chance, because in my mind I had like, oh, this is my list, this is where things get checked off, and that obviously was not lining up with my list. And I was like, you know what, I think I should do this, and it's the best thing I ever did. And obviously everyone's on their own journey, and nobody's journey looks the same, and that's totally okay. And so I'm like, don't take this to like, all right, marrying that guy I just met, because we had dated for a long time, and we really, really got to know each other deeply. And I have no regrets.
Well, your gut clearly did not steer you wrong if it's been 5 years already. So congratulations
I know.
on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When's the anniversary?
November 13th. So it's coming up.
Oh, it is coming up. Any special plans?
Actually, yes. We're gonna go up to Jackson Hole and kind of it's in Wyoming. I say up, you're in Canada, so down. But I'm going up. We're gonna get away for a few days. I've heard it's pretty amazing, and I went to Wyoming years ago, but never Jackson Hole, so I'm really excited.
Well, that's going to be fun, a little mini vacation. Honestly, like,
Yes.
anything is so nice to just get away, take a break, and not have to worry about work. It's the best feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And now, Tori, before I let you go, we're going to play a little game I like to call Country with Celine Rapid Fire. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Just answer them, and then we'll go from there, okay?
All right.
So your first one, most useless talent that you have.
Organization. I mean, that sounds bad, but I'm so like OCD. I'm really good at organizing. Kind of annoys people.
I mean, that's not useless. That's useful. Organizing.
But for music, me.
Okay. I mean, I get that. Your go-to karaoke song.
Ooh, Strawberry Wine, Deanna Carter.
Classic. Your dream vacation.
I would love to go to Bora Bora. That'd be crazy.
Girl, same here. Oh my gosh. Most embarrassing moment.
Ooh, there's so many. How do I pick one? Here's one that happened in music. So I had the opportunity to sing the national anthem for a huge event. It was the Texas GOP. They were hosting it there. And it was in front of like 20,000 people. I was wearing this beautiful, like mermaid style dress gown. And right before going on stage, a hole ripped like on my butt. But luckily I was so embarrassed. I'm backstage like, oh no, there's a hole. Luckily we had like a little safety pin and we were able to fix it before I walked out there. But backstage we were having a major freak out moment and my butt was in somebody's face.
You would have given a show. You would have put on a full show.
Oh, good times.
Good times. And the last one. So Halloween is coming up. What are you going to be?
I'm not going to be anything this year. I'm going to be myself because it's my husband Jason's birthday today, actually. But we're going to celebrate it on Halloween. He's from Ohio and he loves the Browns. So we're going to a football game. So I guess I'm going to be a Browns fan. There we go.
I don't think that's a good thing to be a Browns fan.
I know. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm supporting. I'm like, go Cowboys.
Support the spouse. It's okay. Just support. Well, honestly, Tori, this was so much fun just chatting with you and getting to know you even more. I'm sure a lot of our viewers here appreciated it as well. They get to know an inside scoop on what it's like to be Tori Martin in her life. So thank you for joining me on Country with Celine, Tori.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me.
When it's you against the world.